Have you ever scrolled through your bank account and realized something unsettling? You earn a great income, better than 90% of people, but you feel exactly the same financial stress as you did 5 years ago. You're constantly chasing the next milestone, the bigger house, the nicer car, the expensive vacation, and you realize you're trapped in a race you never signed up for. You're caught in the lifestyle inflation trap. And the harsh truth is, you can be rich, high income, and still be technically broke in terms of net worth. The two are not the same. And misunderstanding this is the single most expensive mistake high earners make. The biggest lie is that wealth is about buying things. It's not. True wealth is the power to say no to anything you don't want to do. It's the power to walk away. In this deep dive, we're going to dismantle the 3 deadly mistakes high earners make that sabotage their net worth. And then, I'll give you the 3 strategic principles used by the truly wealthy, the top 10% net worth, to escape this trap forever. First, let's reset the definition of the game. Rich is income. The median household income in America is around $83,730. To crack the top 10% of income earners, you need roughly $251,360. This is a great achievement, but wealthy is net worth. What you own minus what you owe. The median net worth in America is only $193,000. To be in the top 10% net worth, you need approximately $1.9 million. See the difference? You are right to feel worried. At your income level, the upper middle class, the financial rules change dramatically. The strategies that got you here, like simple budgeting and saving, will not get you to the top 10% net worth. You're now playing a game of strategic allocation and risk management, not survival. You need a fundamentally different mindset. Let's talk about the core problem. The 3 costly mistakes high earners make. Mistake 1. The lifestyle inflation trap. The fatal 30% hole. The median American household only saves about 5% of their income. But you save more, right? Maybe 10%, 15%? The problem is the wants category of the universally recognized 50-30-20 rule. It's the 30% dedicated to discretionary spending. For high earners, this 30% category is a financial black hole fueled by 3 core lies. Lee Hazon. The car is a status symbol. You chase that expensive car, not realizing it's a rapidly depreciating liability. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses value, requiring higher insurance and fuel costs. The actual millionaires are often driving reliable 10-year-old cars. Meanwhile, that expensive car is drowning you in payments and maintenance. Lie has to. The house is always the best investment. Yes, owning a home is a crucial milestone. But upgrading your residence every time you get a raise is financially debilitating. It locks up your capital in illiquid equity and dramatically increases your tax and maintenance burden, adding what is essentially a perpetual, non-optional expense layer to your life. Lie #3. Spending is validation. You buy expensive things to validate your success to your peers, your neighbors, or even people you don't actually like. This is the psychological mistake of prioritizing income as a license to spend. It's how people earning $200,000 end up spending $250,000, masking a deficit with debt. They confuse high revenue with high profit. This relentless chase robs you of the single greatest power of money, the power to walk away. It keeps you forever tethered to your paycheck, regardless of the size of that check. The psychology of lifestyle inflation. Fighting the hedonic treadmill. This mistake isn't just a budgeting failure. It's a deep-seated behavioral flaw. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. You buy something new, a bigger TV, a first-class ticket, a luxury watch, and you experience a temporary spike in happiness. But very quickly, that spike fades. The new luxury becomes the new normal, and you need an even bigger, more expensive item to feel that spike again. This treadmill is the enemy of net worth acceleration. The reason the top 10% separate themselves is they master delayed gratification. They deliberately keep their needs and wants stable, even as their income explodes. They weaponize the difference. They use the margin between their high income and modest expenses to aggressively fund their net worth. It's a behavioral game where self-control is the greatest asset. Mistake 2. Missing the 3 tipping points of net worth. The path to true wealth isn't linear. It's exponential. You feel frustrated because you haven't hit the tipping points. These are the moments when the force of compounding starts to feel like magic. Tipping point Heishon, your money Utians, your contributions. The first $100,000 invested is always the hardest. It's pure grind, fueled almost entirely by your labor and saving discipline. But once your portfolio is large enough, around $100K to $150K, the annual return starts exceeding the total amount you contribute yearly. For example, if you contribute $10,000 a year, but your $100,000 portfolio generates a 10% return, $10,000, your total growth is suddenly doubled. Now, your investments are doing the heavy lifting. Tipping point. Hashed. Your portfolio equals your job income. This is a monumental psychological shift. Imagine your investment portfolio generates $100,000 in passive returns per year. You just cloned your salary. You now have a silent, effective colleague working alongside you, one that doesn't demand meetings or take coffee breaks. This psychological freedom is invaluable. You can now negotiate your job on your own terms. Tipping point #3. True financial independence. This is the moment your portfolio is large enough to support a safe withdrawal rate, typically 4%, for a 30-year retirement. At this point, your capital is self-sustaining. You have the financial freedom to work by choice, not by necessity. The key is consistency. Most people quit right before they hit the point where compounding really takes over. You must stay in the game until your money is working harder than you are. Mistake 3. Over-relying on illiquid assets. For the vast majority of Americans, their home equity is their single largest asset. They are net worth rich on paper, but they are cash poor. They are illiquid. Home equity is not income. You cannot use your kitchen cabinets to pay the electric bill. You can only access that wealth by selling, downsizing, or borrowing against it, like a reverse mortgage, which comes with significant costs and risks. The truly wealthy focus on investable assets that generate cash flow or compound quickly. Consider the speed of the game. On average, U.S. home values appreciate about 4% per year. A diversified S&P 500 index fund has historically returned about 10% annually. The compounding difference is massive. A $1 million investment can realistically double in 7 years. A $1 million house will likely take much longer to reach $2 million. The opportunity cost of locked equity. When you consistently put all your extra capital into paying down a low-interest mortgage early, you incur a massive opportunity cost. This cost is the 10% annual return you forfeit by not putting that money into the compounding market. The math clearly shows that in a low-interest environment, using every dollar to prematurely pay down principal is a poor financial decision. It's an emotional decision for security, but it's a strategically bad one for wealth creation. The takeaway: the top 10% net worth focus on asset differentiation. They treat their primary residence as a controlled liability and a lifestyle choice, not a core investment strategy. They prioritize assets that appreciate and generate income, things like dividend stocks, rental properties, or scalable business ventures. Mistake 4. The behavioral blind spot. Fighting the market. The fourth mistake is almost purely psychological and affects high earners the most: fighting the market out of arrogance or impatience. The ego trap of market timing. High-income individuals are used to controlling outcomes. They excel because they work harder, plan better, and execute flawlessly. They mistakenly believe the same control can be applied to the stock market. They try to predict peaks and troughs, selling high and buying low, a practice known as market timing. Study after study has shown that nobody, not even professional investors, consistently beats the market average. The greatest advantage in investing is time in the market, not timing the market. When you try to outsmart the market, you inevitably miss the best days, which disproportionately dictates long-term returns. The truly wealthy understand they are not in the business of prediction. They are in the business of ownership, owning a slice of the global economy through diversified, low-cost index funds. The impulse to chasing quick returns. Because their day-to-day income is high, high earners are often impatient with the slow grind of index fund returns. They chase risky investments, individual stocks, or highly leveraged ventures hoping to get rich quick to match their high salary growth. This behavior, born from impatience and ego, often leads to catastrophic losses that set their net worth back years. The solution: the wealthy set up automated, consistent investment plans, dollar cost averaging, and essentially put their wealth creation on autopilot, removing the volatile factor of human emotion and ego entirely. Now that we understand the traps, here are the 3 strategic principles to accelerate your net worth and breach the top 10%. Strategy 1. The acceleration game. Harnessing compounding. The single greatest leverage you have is time. The growth between the $1 million and $2 million net worth tiers happens significantly faster than the growth to get to the first $1 million. The first million takes disciplined saving, often 15 to 20 years. The second million can take just 7 to 8 years if compounding is allowed to work. This is the power of a double-digit return, where growth compounds on a larger base. If you have $500,000 invested by age 50, you are mathematically on track to reach $2 million by age 65. Even if you never contribute another dollar, your money is doing the work. Actionable step: immediately increase your savings rate to 15% or 20% of your gross income, dedicated purely to appreciating assets. This small, consistent increase overcomes the median American's 5% savings deficiency and puts you firmly on the acceleration track. The simplicity of double-digit returns. Where do you find these double-digit returns? It's not in the latest fad stock. It is in the engine of the global economy, the stock market. Specifically, the S&P 500 index fund, which mirrors the 500 largest U.S. companies. Historically, the market has returned around 10% annually before inflation. Investing in a diversified, low-cost fund like VTSAX or VTI ensures you capture this acceleration without the risk of betting on individual stocks. The key is to minimize fees and maximize time in the market. Strategy 2. Optimize debt and exploit tax loopholes. The wealthy use debt and the tax code as tools, not constraints. Tax optimization. Maximize your retirement contributions. For high earners, the most effective tax reduction strategies are built into tax-advantaged accounts like 401k, IRA, and HSA. Traditional versus... The key decision for high earners is choosing between immediate tax relief, traditional or tax-free withdrawals in retirement. Many choose traditional accounts because the immediate tax deduction is more valuable at a higher marginal tax rate. Every dollar shielded from current taxation accelerates the power of compounding. Debt differentiation. Not all debt is created equal. Bad debt is purchasing liabilities, credit cards, car loans, and consumption. This debt works against you, often carrying crippling interest rates. Eliminate it immediately. Good debt is purchasing appreciating assets. This includes low-interest mortgages on rental properties, student loans for advanced degrees that increase earning potential, or a loan used to scale a profitable business. The wealthiest understand that good debt is leverage, while bad debt is a leash. Using good debt strategically is key to climbing the net worth ladder, allowing you to acquire valuable assets sooner. Strategy 3. The impact mindset. Beyond personal consumption. The final psychological shift separates the upper middle class from the truly wealthy. The difference in lifestyle between someone worth $2 million and someone worth $20 million is surprisingly subtle. The real difference lies in their relationship with money. The $2 million family still checks their accounts and comparison shops for major purchases. They still think about money regularly. The $20 million family has transcended most financial decision-making because money has become abstract. They use wealth not for consumption, but as a tool to build, influence, and create a legacy to solve problems that extend far beyond their personal needs. This includes philanthropy, funding ventures, or establishing multi-generational trusts. Actionable step. Define your enough number, your financial independence number. This is the point where you stop working for money and money starts working for something bigger. Once you hit it, every dollar you earn after that should be viewed as capital for building your legacy, not for buying another liability. This mental shift is what gives you the greatest power. The freedom to pursue work that fulfills you, not work that pays the bills. So, there you have it. The 3 traps and the 3 strategies for net worth acceleration, plus the critical 4th behavioral blind spot. It's not about luck or a secret stock tip. It's about discipline, long-term thinking, and understanding the strategic difference between the income game and the net worth game. Stop chasing the appearance of wealth today. Start building the real thing. If you're ready to learn how to actively deploy your capital into alternative investments, the assets the top 1% are using to bridge the gap, make sure to hit that subscribe button.